Hello friends, my name is Deepak Bholusaria and you are watching Knowledge Wings by CA.Gaurav Garg. Today we are discussing section 194 IB of Income Tax Act 1961, which has been recently introduced by the Government of India. What is section 194 IB and what is the purpose of section 194 IB? 194 IB says any person being an individual or HUF, if that person is making any payment exceeding 50,000 rupees per month as rent to somebody, then that individual or HUF is under the responsibility to deduct TDS at the rate of 5% per month, or if the amount of rent is part of the month again but exceeding 50,000, still the responsibility to deduct TDS remains. So now the question is, let's say I am a businessman. I also have a business to run and I am also paying rent for my business, which is actually covered by section 194I, not IB, section 194I. Do I still deduct? I am required to deduct tax under this section? No, my dear. If you are paying rent which is covered by section 194I, that has to be dealt with under section 194I only. If I am paying a rent which is not covered by section 194I, in that case, section 194 IC, not IC, section 194 IB will be applicable. Now, we have understood who is going to deduct. We have understood at what rate tax is going to be deducted. Now, the question is, when do I deduct? Law is very simple. Law says, if you are paying rent for a tenancy which is continuing, then at the end of the month of financial year you have to deduct. Or if you have vacated property during the financial year, then the last month of the tenancy is the qualifying month. So let's understand this with an example. First, we have to understand that this provision has come into force from 1st of June 2017 only. So any rent which has been paid prior to that, or which is even if payable not paid, that rent will be excluded. So we have to consider the rent only from the month of June 2017 only. Now I have taken a house for my personal use, a rent of which is, let's say, 1 lakh rupee per month, and I am still living in that house. So from 1st of June 2017 till March 2018, which is around 10 months of rent, so I have to deduct 5% of this 10 lakh on 31st of March 2018. Now, taken another example. I took an house in the month of June 2017 and then I vacated this house in the month of December 2017. So approximately now I am left with only 7 months, June to December. So on 31st of December, I am responsible to deduct tax at the rate of 5% on this 7 lakh, which is around 35,000 rupees, and I have to deposit this tax with the Government of India. Now, another question. I have deducted the tax. How should I deposit it? When should I deposit it? You see, for this, the process is very simple. There is one challan cum return, which is form 26 QC, which you have to fill in at the tax information network site. You fill in all the details of yours, of your landlord, of property, how much rent you have paid, amount of TDS, the date of last when you had made the payment, and the date of deduction. So you fill in all these details, submit with the bank, deposit your tax, and then the challan will be generated. So with this, the form which you are required to be deposited with the government as a return, as well as the tax is deposited simultaneously. You don't have to separately deposit your tax and then separately file your TDS return. Now, like any other TDS return or any other TDS compliances, generally the deductor has to issue a tax deduction certificate, generally which we call as Form 16, Form 16A, In this particular case, the notified form is Form 16C, capital C. Not only you have to deposit your tax, you also have to issue Form 16C to your landlord. For that, you have to register yourself on the website of Trace, which is www.tdscpc.gov.in. We will also see in the next segment how we can fill in this form online, how we can deposit the tax, and how we can comply with this section. One more thing I would like to share with all of you, my friends, that if you don't comply with this section, there are certain repercussions as well. First, before understanding what are the repercussions, we have to understand what is the due date of deposit of tax. So let's say I have deducted tax in the month of March 2018. The due date to deposit tax as well as my return, which is Form 26QC, is 30th of next month. If I have deducted tax in the month of Feb 2018, then due date will be 30th of March. If I have deducted in the month of January, then due date will be 2nd of March, because 30 days are given. So if the month is of 28 days, February 28 days, then 2 days of March. So and so forth. Like with this, these are the due dates. If I don't file as well as deposit my tax by the due date, not only I have to pay interest at the rate of 1% or 1.5% as the case may be, I am also liable to pay late fee under section 234E of rupees 200 rupee per day under section 234E, and this penalty is up to the amount of not penalty, it's a late fee up to the amount of TDS which has been deducted. Now another question which crops up: am I required to obtain TAN? TAN is basically tax account TDS account number, which generally any TDS deductor is required to obtain. But in this particular case, you don't have to obtain any kind of TAN. Your PAN will be more than sufficient. Now, one more question: what if my landlord doesn't have the PAN? In that case, section 206AA will kick in, which says if you're making any payment for which TDS is required to be deducted, in that case, minimum 20% of the TDS is required to be deducted. But in this particular case, again, section 194 IB, again a cap has been prescribed that 20% of the amount which you have paid to the landlord, or 1 month of the rent which was paid in the last month. Last month means either it can be March 2018 for the end of the financial year, or if the tenancy is for the part of the year, last month of that tenancy, the payment which you had made in the last month of tenancy, that will be the maximum amount of tax you have to deduct. So you kindly make sure that you have PAN of your landlord available with us. So we have understood who is going to deduct this TDS, how much TDS is required to be deducted, when is to be deposited, how is this to be deposited. Now we will see the live demonstration of how to fill in Form 26QC. Friends, in this section we will see how to file online Form 26QC. For that, we have to first go to Tax Information Network site, which is ten-nsdl.com. So like this, we will go to that site. On the home page, you will see this option, Pay Taxes Online. You just click on that. The moment you click on that, a new page will be opened, and where you can see various kind of forms, Form 26QC, which we are going to deal today, Challan number 287, 286, 26QB, and other normal challans 280, 282 and 283. Since our topic today is Form 26QC, we have to click on this link, Form 26QC. So when you open this form, you will see tax applicable, whether it's a corporation tax or it's an income tax other than companies, the financial year, which will be populated based on the date of payment which we are going to fill in this form. Then type of payment is already auto selected. Then resident of the landlord or lessee or payee. If the landlord is a resident, then you have to select resident. If the landlord is non-resident, you have to select non-resident. Since in case of any payment to non-resident, section 195 is applicable. That's why form 26 QC is not the right form. You have to go to form number. For that, the form number is 27Q, and there is a detailed process for that. So if you are paying payment to the resident, you have to select this form. If you are paying payment to the non-resident, then form 26 QC is not the right form. So we will start with entering PAN of the tenant or the lessee or the one who is paying the rent to the landlord. So let's say this is the PAN. So the moment I have entered this PAN, you will see the category of the PAN is now individual based on your PAN. Since name will be displayed in the later screen, so that's why right now you can't see the name of the tenant. So we have to again re-enter this PAN. Okay, now on the right hand side of the form, you have to fill in permanent account number of landlord oblique lessor oblique payee. So let's say, so again I have repeated this PAN. You see, the moment I entered PAN, automatically whatever address is available in PAN record, it is before you. And then at the same time, address of the landlord is also displayed here. Now you have to enter email ID of the tenant as well as the landlord. So even though this address is auto-populated from PAN's website, you can still amend it. Let's, for example, I have entered 2112.212 like this. So you can change the address as well. Now the next question which this form is asking is whether there are more than one tenant oblique lessee oblique payer. Either I have to select yes or I have to select no. Please keep in mind that even though this form is asking if there are more than one tenant or lessee, still if such is the situation, in that case both the tenants have to file their form 26 QC separately, simply because this form is asking for that whether there are more than one tenant or not. You can't simply set aside your responsibility to file different form 26 QC. In the same way, let's say there are more than one landlord and you have taken a property in which there are joint owners or two landlords. In that case, again you have to file two separate form 26 QC. Simply because there are two tenants, two landlords, it doesn't mean that you don't have to file form 26 QC. These questions are basically to cross check whether other tenant is also filing the form 26 QC or not. So let's say I have selected no. Then next it is asking for the complete address of the property which has been let out. Again, when I select type of rented category, you can see land, building or both. So I have to select which is the correct option for me. So generally we are dealing with buildings or flats. I have to select building. Then I have to enter the exact address of the property. So I have entered address. Then it asks for period of tenancy. Now it's a very interesting question. In the footnote, you will see the period of tenancy will be the period that is in number of months for which tenant is paying the rent. You see, section 194 IC says that if you have taken a property on rent, then the responsibility to deduct your TDS is at the end of the financial year for which the property is being taken. Let's say you have taken a property on rent and the period of tenancy is more than 1 year. So in that case, financial year 17-18 is the correct financial year for this
Form 26 QC. So in that case, the last month is March 2018. Period of tenancy will be 12 in that case. If you have assuming that the property was taken in April 2017 or prior to that, then total value of rent payable. The total value of rent payable shall be in accordance with the period of tenancy for which this form is being filed. Let's say the rent of the property is 1 lakh rupee per month and the period of tenancy is 12 months. In that case, I will fill in, then in that case, I will fill in 12 lakh. Now, another question, value of rent paid in last month. So in that case again, I will fill in 1 lakh. Now in the next section, it is asking for amount paid / credited. So since the total value of rent payable is 12 lakh and I am also deducting the rent TDS for 12 lakh, I will select 12 here and 12. It is automatically shown before you. Now, the date of payment / credit. This is a very important question. If I select incorrect date, it can lead to payment of taxes, not only taxes, even payment of interest as well as late fee under section 234E. So, in our case, let's say I have deducted my tax on 30th of November. So I will fill in 30th of November. Then it will ask for date, year. It can be, now you see the moment I have filled in this 30th November 2017, financial year 17-18 has been automatically selected. If we go on the top, again the financial year now is 17-18. Coming back, so after this we will fill in what is the total amount of paid or credited. I will say 12 lakh. Rate of TDS, it is auto selected for us, which is 5%. Then the 5% of 12 lakh, which is 60,000. So I will fill in 60,000. Then interest. If you are depositing your taxes late, then you have to compute interest as well as fee. Let's say you don't do it. In that case, after the payment of taxes as well as Form 26 QC, department may generate demand for both interest and 234E late fee. You can also see the instruction here that the date of furnishing Form 26 QC is beyond prescribed due date. The same may interact late filing fee under section 234E, as well as if the date of deduction is greater than date of payment, the same may result in demand notice for late deduction. If date of deduction is less than date of payment, the same may result in demand notice for late deduction. So now it will ask for date of tax deduction. Please keep in mind that date of payment / date of deduction should generally be the same one. So I will select 30th November and 2017. So now I have completely filled in this form. If you just look at it again, then it is an income tax other than companies. Why income tax other than companies has been selected? Because my landlord is an individual. Had this landlord been a company, corporation tax would have been selected automatically. So I have filled in my PAN, my landlord's PAN, my address, my landlord's address, the address of the property which I have taken on rent, period of tenancy. Please mind it, the period of tenancy should not be more than 12. Then total value of rent payable, value of rent paid, then the amount which has been paid on which I have deducted the tax, which is 12 lakh. Again, the amount of TDS I have deducted, the date of payment of rent, last payment basically, then the date of tax deduction. Now, it is asking me for mode of payment. There are two options before you. Either you pay tax immediately or you can also pay it subsequently. So, there may be a situation that you might have taken help of some tax consultant who has filled in this form for you. In that case, he will simply select e-tax payment on subsequent date. So that this payment of tax can be paid by you, or let's say you don't want to pay the tax immediately. Even then, in that case, you can select this option. If you want to immediately pay the tax, then you have to select this option, e-tax payment immediately. In that case, you have to select you are paying through net banking or you are paying through debit card. If I select debit card, only 4 banks are available here: ICICI Bank, Indian Bank, PNB and State Bank of India. If it is net banking option, then there is a long list: Allahabad, Andhra Bank, ICICI and so on and so forth. So let's say I have selected e-tax payment on subsequent date. Then I have to fill in this CAPTCHA code and then I have to select proceed. The moment I select proceed, system will show me this form once again for confirmation, so that if there is any error still left in the form, I can correct it. So now you can see the name of the landlord as well as the name of the tenant is shown here, which was not shown in the previous screen. So I have to confirm it now. So the moment I say confirm, it has given me an acknowledgement number, which is RAA00785595 blah blah blah. I have to click on OK. The moment I see OK, click OK, this kind of acknowledgement is shown before you. So now, since I have selected e-payment on a subsequent date, I get this acknowledgement. Now, using this acknowledgement, I can make the payment of taxes on a later date, or even I can give this acknowledgement to my tax consultant, or tax consultant might give it to me so that I can make the payment. One more thing, you can also print your Form 26QC and you can also save this acknowledgement. In order to make the payment for the option e-payment for subsequent date, we have to first go to the home page of Tax Information Network. Then we have to select services, and within that we have to select TDS on rent of property. A new page will be opened. Go to the bottom of the page. You will find this option, e-tax payment on subsequent date. Click it. After that, a new page will be opened. This new page will ask PAN of tenant, PAN of landlord, acknowledgement number and the financial year. Acknowledgement number means acknowledgement number of Form 26QC which was generated in previous steps. You fill in this information, enter your CAPTCHA code and then press submit. After filling this information, what you have to do is you simply click on the submit. You see, the moment this information is verified from the system, again it will pose before you one of these two options, whether it is net banking or whether it is a debit card. Let's say we have selected net banking. Then we have to select the bank from which we would like to make the payment. So let's say I have selected State Bank of India. Then what I have to do is I have to click on this submit to bank for e-payment. The moment I select this, it will open home page, net banking home page of State Bank of India. You have to select internet banking. Then you have to select user ID and password of the bank and then enter. The moment you enter, you will see option of payment of taxes. Then what you have to do is you simply enter your taxes. Now it is very interesting. You see, in the very first page, when we were filling in form number 26QC, it asked me what is the amount of payment I am going to make, deduct. This amount has to be filled in again here. And then you have to confirm it. So after making payment of tax, a challan similar to this will be generated, which you can download, and then you can submit this challan with the landlord or or wherever you want to submit that challan, or even you can retain that challan in your record.
So you have also seen the demonstration of filing form 26 QC. I hope I am able to answer most of your questions, but if still you have any more questions to be asked on this particular subject, you can write your comments in the comment section of this page, or you can also write an email on the email ID which you can see right now on your screen. So with this, I take leave from you. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for your patience hearing. Thanks once again.